Coach, first off, congratulations. Another postseason appearance for Norwin. Seems like year in and year out, always playing some extra baseball. Talk a little bit about how this season unfolded, because I know expectations are high once again, maybe a little bit of a slower start, but a pretty strong finish to the regular season. What did you see in terms of start to finish to growth?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. It's good to be back in the playoffs, and that's obviously one of our goals every year. And we've been pretty successful at making it. The season's been kind of disjointed. We've had good pitching at times, good hitting at times, good fielding at times, but never really put everything together. So, our expectations were maybe a little higher than where we finished, but you get in the playoffs and you have a chance for there. Everybody has a clean slate, and we'll take a shot at it.
I know you said at times you didn't play complete baseball. It seemed like early in the season there were some issues with the pitching, in particular, a lot of walks. And I know you don't have to go back any further than the first game of the season to see that. Is that something that you've seen maybe improvement upon? And how, as a coach, is that something that you can try to address?
Yeah, again, beginning of the year, definitely that was an issue. I think overall we found some spots for guys and they fit in better, maybe in different roles than maybe at the beginning of the season that we had. We, down the stretch, haven't walked nearly as many. So certainly that's something that's been shored up a little bit, and hopefully that'll continue in the playoffs.
You look at some of the teams across the WPIAL, they're lucky to have one or two college-bound players on their roster. You have more than half a dozen. Do you notice, do those guys maybe bring out the best in each other, knowing that they're all moving on to the next level and really probably competitive guys who are trying to continue to hone their skills every single day?
Yeah, it's a good group of kids. They work really hard, and they're good friends. And so, I think they push each other to do well. They push each other so that the team is successful, and it's been fun working with these guys.
I know last year, most teams would be very happy to have 14 wins and an appearance in the semifinals, but it did feel like it was a little bit of a letdown for the team that you had. What did the players who were back this year maybe learn from that experience?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing last year. Again, we had a lot of college guys again, and we thought maybe we had a chance to go a little bit further than the semis either. But it doesn't work out that way. Baseball's a challenging game. It doesn't always work out how you think it's going to. The guys this year have talked about it for sure. They don't want to go out early this year. They know it's their last chance. So, guys like Kendra and Waylon and Stecco that were a big part of the team last year are certainly pushing to do as well as we can here.
You talk about Jacob Kendra. Man, he is incredible to watch, especially defensively. I know he's put up some really good offensive numbers, but I believe you said he's maybe as good of a shortstop as you've seen. When you think about him, what makes him so elite?
He's just extremely athletic. He has all the baseball skill as well, but his athleticism allows him to do things maybe that some of our other guys at short haven't been able to do. And we've had some excellent shortstops in the past for sure, but not the range and the ability to do things that he can do with his athletic ability.
So you're in a kind of an interesting scenario, and we'll get to the bracket momentarily, but in 6A, for most teams, there's a little bit longer of a wait before you actually begin your playoffs. You had, I think, 3 non-section games to wrap up the regular season. So you're looking at probably 2+ weeks in between your last section game and when you begin the postseason. How do you try to prepare? How do you make sure that the team stays sharp during that time?
Yeah, so we started off this week by giving them 3 days off. So they had their prom Friday, so we thought it was a good chance to just get away. We're 12 days in between real baseball games, and that's a lot. And we just thought mentally that, that's a strain going out there practicing every day without a game to play. So we have a scrimmage lined up for Tuesday. So we'll try to get back into things tomorrow, and then Tuesday try to get them focused in terms of it's a scrimmage, but we got to treat it like a real game because it's going to be so long since we played an actual game. I think it is mentally challenging. They're kids, they're 17, 18 years old, and maybe hard to keep focused that long. At this point of the year, they just want to play, and it's a challenge to wait as long as we have to wait.
We look at all the baseball, all the softball brackets, and sometimes you have 16+ teams in a field. That's not the case in 6A baseball. There's 9 teams total, which means that your team and many of them do get that bye technically to the quarterfinals. So you get the number 4 seed. You're going against the number 5 seed in Pittsburgh Central Catholic. How did that bracket sort of align with what you maybe had anticipated going in?
We really thought we were going to end up playing Pittsburgh Central Catholic. So in terms of where we were and where they were, we had that one right. We pretty much saw it. There was maybe one difference of what we had on our mock bracket compared to what actually turned out to be, but we had it pretty close. And at this point, really, I think with the teams that there are in 6A, the seeding doesn't really matter too much. Everybody has a talented pitcher or two that you're going to have to face. Everybody has good lineups. So, for me, the seeding not really that important since we've gone to 6A.
Now, you actually played Central Catholic earlier this season, correct?
Correct.
So how much do you go back and look at that game, knowing that, the teams have probably changed quite a bit since I think that was the last day of March when you played?
Yeah, we'll certainly use it. We keep track of everything in terms of game and scouting each of the players and some tendencies of theirs. Certainly we'll use that. But we also realized that, it was a non-section game early in the year and their lineup's certainly different. We understand we didn't see their maybe one or two pitchers that game. So, we're going to see some different guys on the mound for them, and who knows if their lineup's exactly the same. But we'll take and use as much information as we possibly can to give us whatever advantage we can get. What
do you see from them in terms of their strengths?
Well, I hear this pitcher of theirs is extremely talented. Otherwise, their lineup was solid against us. Ryan and Ross had an outstanding game against them, but I still really like their lineup. And like I said, when you're in 6A, everybody's going to have someone good at the top of the rotation, and everybody's going to have a solid lineup. So, we'll go out and do the best we can, and hopefully things work out for the best for us.
You've been guiding this program for nearly 20 years, and I think you've seen a lot of different perspectives because the time you won the WPIAL championship, it was sort of an under the radar regular season. You've also gone into the playoffs as favorites a couple of times. So you're sort of in between there with the number 4 seed. In your experience, what do you think is the easiest as a coach in terms of heading into the playoffs? Do you want to be that top team, or do you like being a little bit maybe under the radar?
You know what? There were times when I wanted to be the top seed. I thought we were, the most talented team. I think we deserved to be at the top. There's other times where I thought we deserved to be down where we were. So again, we approach things a little bit differently in terms of that. But I think for the kids, it's easier not being at the top. Kind of that mentality. There's nothing to lose. Hey, we're the 11 seed. We're the 14 seed back in the day. You know what? We're not supposed to do that well, and so we can just go out and play free and easy. So kind of being in the middle here, I think these kids do have a lot of expectations. They think, we're the 4 seed, but we have a good chance to win it. And so hopefully they don't put too much pressure on themselves, and they can. We stress the idea that, you know how to play the game, relax and do what you're capable of. Don't try to do more than you're capable of, and you'll be fine. So we'll try to prep them mentally in that way, and hopefully they respond.
Lastly, you know what it takes to make successful postseason runs. You've had many of them, including that 2016 team that went on to win the title. What are the biggest keys this year to make another run?
Well, just like those years, the key is pitching. Every time we've made a run, our pitchers have done extremely well. Going back the whole way to 2006, we had 2 Division I pitchers, and we made a run to the championship game, unfortunately losing. The 2 other times we made the finals, our pitchers, even though we didn't have any D1 guys on the mound, they threw 3 consecutive shutouts. So it's pitching certainly has been a key. It was a key in the WPIAL championship year. It's going to be a key at the end this year. And like I said, everybody has a good one at the top. So whoever can be the strongest on the mound, I think is going to be there at the end.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for doing this. Congratulations. We look forward to more success over the next couple of weeks, hopefully for the Knights.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
All right. Mike Liebdzinski, head coach for Norwin Baseball.